basically the idea being that, somebody comes in depressed and it is just an emotional problem, and we're just going to deal with it by finding some incident or series of incidents that happened to you in the past, which have obviously caused this to re-stimulate or come into being. And if we address those incidents, then the depression should go away. And the real the real problem with this is that, of course, it's not that easy to deal with or resolve. And so the person then is burdened further with the idea that this has been handled in Scientology, and yet deep down inside, they're still feeling this way. And so they will then be stuck in this sort of situation of, well, I'm not supposed to be feeling this way. I shouldn't feel this way. It's bad to feel this way. And yet I feel this way. And so now you're just piling denial on top of depression.
Exactly.
And that's really the end result of that. Or the guy doesn't deny it and keeps saying, yeah, I still feel like shit, still feel like shit, still feel like shit. And the case supervisor, who doesn't know anything about actual depression, just keeps throwing these kind of rudiment type processes at the person, hoping
in hopes
one
that
of them
they feel
sticks.
better. And if we can't fix it, then you'll be sent to the doctor to find a physical diagnosis.
Exactly. And again, it's just on him. Oh,
yes.
It's all his fault that he's not responding to Scientology.
Exactly.
All right, and that will apply, by the way, what we just talked about there will apply to all of these. We're going to go through a few others now. Anxiety, okay?
Can we, before we do that, I just want to make a comment on suicide.
Yes.
It's not a small comment, though. I don't know if you've covered this in your videos or not, but suicide is a very specific manifestation in Scientology. It is an effort to make someone else wrong. It is what's called a service facsimile. It's an idea in your mind that you use to make yourself right and others wrong. Yep. It is something you use to dominate other people and escape domination. It is a selfish act and is treated as such. It's not anything else. I mean, somebody kills himself, it's like, well, I mean, do you remember what did Hubbard say when his son killed himself? What did he say?
Oh God, it was
his comment is a perfect example.
Like, what has he done to me now? Or so, it was something directly back at oh, he struck back at me or something. I mean, it was something like that,
Yeah, Hubbard believes that his son is trying to make him wrong by killing himself.
Right. That's right. And that's how suicide threats are viewed also, is you're being selfish. There's some, this is all about you. You're trying to get attention on you. This is not, stop doing that because it's not rational. This is just a big problem for all of us because you're saying you want to commit suicide.
Yeah.
It's not, oh my God, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not.
There's no light touch.
Way.
There's no trying to, help that person get through the issues that they're actually dealing with. It's, you're just trying to make us all wrong.
That's right. There was actually, I've never talked about this actually. I'll relate a little story here. There was a guy who was on suicide watch. He said he wanted to commit suicide. He was a Sea Org member. This was in Los Angeles at the big blue buildings. And I think he was a foreign guy, but it doesn't really matter. And he said, yeah, I want to kill myself. So when somebody does that, who's a Sea Org member, they will put them under watch. They will have another person just be with that person all day, every day, right? Even at night. They'll sleep in the same room, sort of thing, yes. 24/7. And but they're not just sitting around. This guy was made to do work. Right, he was doing what they call messed work or hard physical labor, because the idea is that if you're suicidal, that will direct your attention out of your head and into the real world where it should be, according to Scientology, and will at least distract from the suicidal thoughts. So this guy was on suicide watch, and this person who was relating this whole story to us was named Hanzuli Stali. He was the RTC.
Oh, I know him. Yes,
yeah.
I know who he is.
He was the RTC representative, at the PAC base, at the big blue buildings at the time. And he was telling us this story about how he had gone and seen this guy and had said to him, or no, he was suggesting we do this. He was like, these suicide guys, fuck these guys. You know, this guy's not going to commit suicide. And he goes, you know what you should do with this guy? He goes, you know what I do with these guys? And he said, I would take this guy up to the, up to the top floor of the big blue building, and I would take him to a window, and I'd say, go ahead, jump. I want to see it. I want to see it. Go ahead. And the guy would just stand there, and I'd go, yeah, that's what I thought. You know? Well, turns out this guy he was talking about 3 days later actually took a dive out of the third floor window.
Oh,
and he
my
ended
goodness.
up breaking his hands and his feet because he landed on his hands and feet like a cat. He didn't die. This guy's fine, as far as I know. But this was 3 days after Stolly was sitting in a conference room telling us this is how you deal with people who have suicidal thoughts. Now, I don't know that he actually went and did that to this kid. I'm just saying this is what he said we should be doing. This
Maybe
is the
someone
attitude.
did. Maybe somebody said, I mean, he's an RTC. You got to do what he says.
That's right. It's entirely possible that that could have happened. I don't know if it did, but I am saying the point I'm making here is that that was the attitude of the most senior guy on the whole base, the representative from RTC, like the, senior technical person in Scientology. And this is the guy telling us how to deal with somebody who's made a threat of suicide.
And another one they like to say is, I don't know if you ever ran into that, is they'll just come up in your face and say, come up to present time.
Yeah.
Just try to get you out of your head. Stop. That'll get you to stop being suicidal.
Yeah, exactly. Come up to present time.
No,
Hubbard.
you got to yell it.
Yeah.
They're way deep in their heads.
God, it's so ridiculous. I only laugh at the tragedy of it. It's really not funny,
Yes.
but it's, what are you going to do?
Yeah.